Oh, I didn't see you there. I was just preparing this tier list because I was asked as the pre-season for Steel Division League is coming up, just which divisions are good right now, which divisions should I pick, which divisions should I train, which divisions should I ban. Well, here is the answer. The long-awaited competitive tier list by Bowser, right here in front of your eyes. We have of course revised the categories a little bit. Usually you go from S tier to A tier to like F tier down here. But of course for our competitive tier list we have gone ahead and made different categories. First of all, we have the ban category. These divisions will probably get banned most of the time and you will probably not get to play them, and you should probably ban them yourself. Then we have the Esports Divisions. These are the divisions that are really good. They can often get banned as well, but you will also often get to play them, and they're like the top edge divisions to train. Then every Steel Division League player is familiar with this tier. The fuck? I forgot this division existed. You know, when you are in your Steel Division match, you're banning, you're picking, you're projecting scenarios, you're being all five-head about it. And then your opponent picks a division that you didn't even consider was still in the game. This is this moment right here. Those are the divisions that creep up on you, and we're going to discuss which ones they are. Then we have the counter pick divisions. These also the kind of map dependent divisions like the Vert VDV, but mostly you don't want to first pick these divisions. You want to counter pick them when your opponent had first pick. Then we have the cope divisions here, and those are mostly divisions that are not that good. You can still win with them if you're really good with this division individually, but mostly people play them because they like the style of that individual division and not because there wouldn't be a better alternative available. You can see quite a lot of divisions in this tier, yeah. Then we have the Gigacope divisions. Those are basically the same. People play them because they like their style, but with the Gigacope, you're gonna need your opponent to kind of fuck up seriously in one or the other department for you to win. With the Cope divisions, if you're really good with the 78th Sturm, I can see that happening. But with Koruk, you know, you're gonna have to rely on your opponent to be making a few mistakes here and there. And then we have the Lull divisions. You should never play those in competitive matches, ever. Alright, let's look at the individual divisions up here. In the bands we can see a little bit allies heavy in general here on the top, but we've also got some Axis divisions at the end. Third Mech, I would probably actually put second New Zealand in first place here. They both have insanely good infantry, insanely numerous infantry, and second New Zealand with the better air tab though. Good AA, good all-rounder divisions that really check all the check marks, always ban these. Then we have third Canadian, very cheap and numerous infantry, endless off-map, good air as well, good support tabs, good tank tab, recon cars, clear band division. 7th Mech, the first division in this list to bring out the true pain, the pain in the sky, the PE2 bomber. Always beware the PE2 bomber, especially if it comes in a deck with numerous and cheap infantry, numerous and cheap vehicles, and endless P2 bombers. Yeah. Then we have the third armored right here. Still a ban contender. Maybe this will go down as time goes on. But the mixture of half-tracks with bazooka infantry and armored cars is still extremely potent. Then we have the 12th SS. The 12th SS and Großdeutschland, probably the most well-rounded German divisions right now. Decent infantry tab, but really makes it good is that the units are not surrenderable. Then you've got really good recon tab, a good tank tab for what you want right now. Lots of Flak 41s and Focke-Wulf on 98s. So really good all-around deck. Same goes for Großdeutschland, other than, it has the MP44s, but let's first deal with the 6th Airborne clear band division right now. It's got cheap mortar, artillery, radio artillery, it's got the endless air spam, it's got 20-point infantry to, forever and ever, they will not run out. And with how good the Tetrarchs and Tetrarch Little Johns are right now, tanks aren't really a problem either, so definitely band division. Then we have these 3 German divisions, and they have one thing in common, which is the MP44. The MP44 really good right now. As I said, this is also one of the striking differences between the 12th SS and the Großdeutschland, which features a lot of MP44 infantry. Hermann Göring, a really good, well-rounded division, maybe suffering a little bit in the air department, but it's got a lot of Flak 41s to equal that out, and it's got a very good mixture of infantry and those SPWs in the recon tab, all the Panzer IVs you'll ever need in the current meta, so very good all-around deck. Feldforschungsjäger is a bit of a special one. It's not only the infantry that makes it so good, but especially the weaponry surrounding it, the Stuks, the SPWs, and most of all the LG42s make this division a clear ban. Then when we hop to the Esports Divisions, we have 16 Scots, which might as well be in the bans, honestly, but I wanted to restrict myself to 10 divisions in the bans. So here we go, 16 Scots might well replace like Vert Armored or maybe Hermann Göring up here. Very, very, very good division. Similar infantry to Canadian, better air than Canadian, but a little bit of a weird tank tab. It's got recon cars in the recon tab, so really good tab there as well. Second, Guards Tank Corps. It's got the PE2s. Yeah, so very, very strong. It's also got a lot of Russian infantry, all the tanks you'll need, so this is a very good Soviet deck. If the 7th mech up here is banned, you might go for this one instead. 21st Panzer might be falling a bit out of fashion since the infantry cannot really keep up in the current meta, but they still got a lot of recon cars, they still got the Sherman, they still got off maps, and things like the Brummbär are now also pretty good. And they've got Focke-Wulfs, so that's always nice. Second Blindé might wander down a little bit, but it's still really good with the mixture of the armored cars and half-tracks and pretty good infantry. It's not a deck with a lot of longevity, but the DB bombers can help you a lot with that, keeping your opponent down when you're kind of starting to run out. It's a very annoying deck to play against, but if people figure out how to stop the armored cars efficiently, then it will probably go down in this tier list. 17th SS can be called a little bit of a one-trick pony with the tractions, but I don't really believe that. It's a really good, well-rounded deck. It's got a lot of SPWs. It's got a lot of good CQC and unsurrenderable infantry in the SS Legionary. It's always got the option to rush certain positions with the tractions, and it's got Stuk 4s, which are really good medium tanks at the moment. So all around pretty good deck. We've got also the 20th Panzer up here with a very well-rounded deck. Strongest part about it are also the off maps and the Panzer Freeze, which is the only Panzer that didn't really get price nerfed, so it's insanely cost efficient right now in comparison to other medium tanks. Let's go on to the Fuck I Forgot This Division existed tier. So first off, the honorable mentions of 44th, 97th, 10th Guards Tank Corps and 84th. Maybe not so much the 94th, this one is a bit special, but these are kind of similar in a way. 10th Guards Tank Corps obviously with more tanks, but their defining characteristics are they have P2 or Tu-2 bombers en masse, they have Soviet infantry en masse, and then they've got some sort of medium tank in there, and that makes for an extremely potent mix. If your opponent knows how to play it, you can be swarmed down and feel pretty helpless in the face of endless Russian infantry squads and endless air spam with P2 and Tu-2 bombers. Leading this category though is Panzerna, which is of course a favorite of many. Can be a pretty good division, but it really lacks the infantry to be up here in the esports tier, I would say. 97th of course gets the funny tanks, plus it gets the extremely strong off map, but not really enough to put it into esports tier. It's suffering a bit in the infantry department. First Polish is a really, really good division actually, but many people oversee this. It's got enough T-34s, easily got enough T-34s now for the current meta. It's got an insane number of IL-2s and really, really good infantry, which basically makes it a really strong deck already. And then we have the 5th SS up here. This is a clear contender for the, oh my god, I actually forgot this division existed. But it's got a pretty well-rounded infantry tab nowadays. And the lack of Panzer IVs is not that important anymore in the current meta. It's fine with the numbers it has right now. It's got a Panzer III card. It's got some good air Flak 41s. So watch out for the 5th SS. Then we've got divisions that I would only counterpick or pick on certain maps. First off, Blindata, my baby, my favorite division. But I would have put it here in the Esports Division because it didn't get banned all the time, but it was really, really good. But I think it has really fallen off in the face of air spam. It doesn't prevail. It doesn't have the necessary tools to deal with it reliably. And also the great numbers of Panzer IVs and Stugs doesn't really matter in the current meta. You don't really need that amount of tanks, of medium tanks. So you can still counterpick it against things that doesn't really contain PE2 bombers or something like that. But in general, I wouldn't first pick it anymore. 5th Cav in a similar spot. Anything that has maybe very, very strong air spam for one, or a lot of light vehicles, I would stay away from 5th Cav. But if you have a very infantry reliant deck, maybe Scots, although their air will be annoying, something like that, you can still counterpick with it. It can be very strong on certain maps because its infantry is insane. Turina, a little bit of a one-trick pony again with the T-34 spam, but you can mix this in with the numerous Soviet infantry, and you can make this work on certain maps and in certain matchups. 9th Cav in a similar boat. They also get the air spam on their side, so can be a counter pick, but I wouldn't first pick it. And the infantry is maybe a little bit lackluster. I've got Armia Craiova here, which is maybe a little bit of an overlooked division as well. We will see if rightfully so. I think you need to counterpick it against something that definitely cannot air spam you, because you do not have good options to prevent the air spam. You do not have fighters. Your fighters are all phase locked, and your AA is also phase locked, so yeah, maybe this is even a cope division here. Then we have Panzer Lair. Panzer Lair, really a really good all-round division, but just lacks the little something of a 12SS or a Ghost Deutschland, with the 12SS not being surrenderable, with Ghost Deutschland having the MP44s. It lacks that. The infantry is lackluster. You're gonna need a lot of your support slots to put MGs in there, because you need to strengthen your infantry tab indirectly for that, and that's gonna cost you a lot of activation points. It's a playable deck, but most of the time you'll have better options. 43rd, really benefiting from those non-surrenderable Fnatic Strafniki squads. They are really, really strong. Other than that, solid all-around deck, and yeah, can be counterpicked. I would only pick this on certain maps, maybe something that allows me to use the infantry to full effect. 3rd VDV, maybe not so much a counterpick as a map pick. On open maps it's a bit hopeless, and I wouldn't pick it against strong air contenders because they're gonna shoot you down. Then we have Nordland, which can be used to quite some effect. It's got the jet bombers, which can delete things quite nastily. It's got a pretty solid infantry and tank type, but it's not really durable. It's not really a deck with a lot of depth. That's why I will only put it in the counter pick category here. And then we have, of course, the 7th Estonians, and they're a bit of a one-trick pony again. They have swarms of infantry, some support vehicles, some support tanks. They are not horrible, but again, you will almost always have a better choice. There's no way that 44th and 84th and 1st Polish are all banned, and I think they can all do what Estonian does, but better. And then, of course, let's do some honorable mentions in the cope and lower categories. I know you guys out there, you want me to mention and talk a little bit about your favorites. 78th Sturm, 1st Ski Jäger. Well, I think that all of the divisions in here, they have some market weakness that makes them kind of a cope, and you would rather have something else actually basically every time. Bezuklogo, for example, does not have sufficient depth. Fallschirmjäger does not have any medium tank or light vehicle to support them. 78th Sturm, kind of starved of my activation points. I put it here at the very top with the MP44s against the right matchup. Maybe they can be a counter pick, but then are really all the other divisions that do similar things banned? I don't know about this one. We have Vertgard's Tanker here, maybe a short mention. Always used to be in the ban category. I don't think this is that good anymore. It doesn't have like the scary air spam. It doesn't have the scary infantry tab. The Sherman and IS-2 combination is not that scary at the moment either. I don't think that this is that great anymore. Some people really love the second Indian head. I think the infantry is way too expensive. I don't think that this is that good. And yeah, I mean, in the Gigacope, we have some of the divisions that really, really heavily rely on Focke-Wulf spam, but they are very, very harsh one-trick ponies. We also have 26, for example, with no AA basically whatsoever. And yeah, I mean, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think in the comments, what you would have done differently. You can also make your own tier list. I will link it down below in the description. You can post it on the Discord, discuss it there with the other people, what you would change, what divisions do you think are a must ban, which divisions do you think should be trained up to the max because they will yield the most playtime per strength, so to say, and or strength per playtime. And where do you think I was totally wrong? Which cope division do you think is actually banned here because you play it all the time? Are you a person from Finland? And you think Panzer Divisione is the best division in the game and you want to tell me off? Well, do so in the comments, sir. Do so in the comments. Until then, I will make new videos, by the way. Just a short little heads up. The King of the Meme is returning. The series is currently being played. I'll try to make more regular YouTube videos again. And yeah, I'll catch you guys maybe on the stream on Twitch or on the next video. Have a nice day. Have a nice day.